Hi, before I get started with some tips for online teaching for people who haven't done that very much before, I did want to say that I have quite a bit of content on this channel on political philosophy. I do not mind if you use it, if you're an instructor in an area where you can use it. So it occurred to me that maybe a lot of you are teachers of one kind or another, and are faced at this point with having to teach online. Many of you maybe haven't done that before or only did what you absolutely had to. I have been teaching online for quite a long time now, and I've kind of evolved with the techniques as they've come along. But I thought I'd give some advice, especially aimed at people who haven't done this before or not very much. In a situation like this, I think you should think simply, okay? As in, do not go or try to hold yourself to creating videos, for instance, with all the bells and whistles and so on and so forth. Try to keep it easy and simple. And actually what students want the most is predictability. They want to know that the information will be there, especially right now. You know, they're not going to hold you to terrifically high standards when it comes to visuals and things like that. The most low-tech way for you to go would be to simply record your voice. And you can use your phone to do that, at least in the meantime. Download an app if you don't have a voice recording app on your smartphone. I have an Android phone and it has Easy Voice Recorder already on it, but if I didn't have that, I could download an app. Now, Easy Voice Recorder, for instance, will record the voice in a WAV file, WAV file. That's fine, and you could probably upload that straight to your university or school's online interface. Ours is Canvas, yours might be Whiteboard or something else. If you find that uploading that WAV file is taking a long time, you can convert WAV files into MP3 format. MP3 is the most compact and easiest to upload. And it's easier to work with MP3 files if you want to match them up with, say, pictures and make a video later on. So you can get WavePad. I have that on my PC, or just look for any sort of free online software. WavePad is free if you're not using it for commercial use. I've been using it for a while now to convert my WAV files into MP3 so they're easier to upload. Simplest method, record your voice, put up that file, label it well, order them well so that students know exactly what to listen to first. They're used to listening to podcasts. That's basically what you're doing. And then give them visuals to go along with each one. I did that for years before making videos became easy. So, Aristotle Lecture 1. And then here's the PowerPoint slides or whatever visuals, Word document with your notes or whatever it may be. Right under that, Aristotle Lecture 2, PowerPoints. And they will be able to use the PowerPoints or the visuals any way they want. I always encourage students to look at them while they're listening to the lecture. Okay. Now, I haven't done that in a while, that method, but that's what I would recommend for you, both because it's the simplest and also because it's it's less likely to task your university's system. I will also tell you what I do now, okay? What I'm doing right now is something called screen capturing. And I use Camtasia for that, okay? So Camtasia is a great software that runs on both PCs and Macs. It's not super cheap, but it's also not terribly expensive. And I think it's well worth it. I downloaded it to my Mac, and if I wanted to right now, I could get up anything on my screen and you'd see that as well. So you could literally, start a Camtasia recording, and students would be able to see you in one corner of the screen and see whatever you're showing, or want them to see on the rest of their screens. You can set it up also to do what I'm doing now, where they're just watching you. It will run off of your computer's mic and camera, so you don't have to buy anything extra as long as you have a laptop or computer with both mic and camera. I think Mac and I know Mac has its own built-in screen capture system as well. So if you have a Mac, you probably wouldn't even have to pay for anything or buy Camtasia. Like you're going to have to do that kind of research on your own, but Google, like, how can I capture my screen on my MacBook Pro or whatever it is that you have. There are also QuickTime Pro. QuickTime Pro is pretty cheap. You can download it to Mac, or you can download it to your PC, and it will also capture your screen and everything that's going on it. With that, you basically are creating videos. So what do you do if you want to create videos and have your students watch them? Okay. Well, this is a choice, all right, that is worth considering. Do you want to upload them to your university or school's online system? Do you want to do that and upload them somewhere else? The reason why it might be a good idea to do both of those things or just upload them somewhere else is because your university system might not have the capacity to handle the level of uploads or the amount of space to store them. On YouTube, you can publish videos in 3 different ways. To make them public, in which case anybody can see them; to make them unlisted, in which case you can provide the link only to your students and they will see them, but others won't be able to find it; and private, which is what you would use if you only you want to look at it and see what it looks like first before you publish it anywhere. Okay, so I would recommend, because this is a kind of an emergency situation, to not simply rely upon your school system, but to upload your videos at least as unlisted on a service like YouTube. They have the capacity to store them. You can be sure more, well, you can't be sure of anything, but you can be probably more sure that YouTube, you can be more sure of that than that your school system will continue to function. Anyway, so that's something to keep in mind. The other thing I would recommend is, if you don't already have a website, create a free one somewhere, or maybe make a Facebook page if you know how to do that. Create some way for your students to find information about what you're going to do should your school's system go down for a day or two. Say to them, I've got this website, or go to this Facebook page, or like this Facebook page, or, here's the group me I'm going to establish on my phone. That's an app you can get where you can create groups and everybody joins, and then you can give announcements to people on it. In other words, think of some other way that you can communicate with your students if your university system is not functioning for a day or two because it's not able to deal with the overload. You'll notice I didn't recommend Zoom. If you do use Zoom, I would just recommend always videotaping those Zoom sessions. If you're doing Zoom, you can actually record your screen at the same time. Definitely do that and store those videos, and preferably upload them so that students who couldn't get on Zoom at that time will still be able to see your Zoom videos. Okay, well, that's about all I've got. If you have questions, you feel free to ask them below, and I will try to get to those with recommendations, and people can always use the notes below, the conversation below, in order to share ideas they have with each other as well, because these are just my ideas and the way I'm approaching things. I myself would revert back to audio files if I needed to. I'm going to continue to do video because I'm set up for it and I'm used to it. But my recommendation stands for people who have not done that before. Keep it really simple. Your students will appreciate the fact that you're continuing to instruct them under these circumstances, regardless of whether it's got all the bells and whistles or not. All right, good luck.